Giants in the Bible. The Bible describes many individuals as giants, and it also mentions several giant people groups. Interpreters have speculated about the size of these people with guesses ranging anywhere from 6 feet to more than 30 feet in height. Also, a great deal of misinformation about giants in the Bible has been proliferated on the internet along with some fake pictures of supposed giants. So did these giants really exist? If so, how big were they? Coming in January 2024. Produced with permission from the C.S. Lewis Company Limited. The Logos Theatre's production of C.S. Lewis' The Horse and His Boy is coming to the Ark Encounter. Learn more. This article surveys all of the individuals and people groups described as giants in Scripture. Next, some ancient records and archaeological data that corroborate some of the biblical data will be examined. The article concludes with a study of how big these people could have been based on what we currently understand about genetics and biology. Old Testament giants. One of the earliest mentions of giants in the Bible is found in Genesis 14. In the 14th year Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him came and attacked the Rephaim in Ashtaroth Karnaim, the Zuzim in Ham, the Emim in Shaveh-Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their mountain of Seir. Then they turned back and came to En-Mishpat, that is, Kadesh, and attacked all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who dwelt in Hazezontamar, Genesis 14:5, 7, emphasis added. Genesis 14 does not reveal that the Rephaim, Zuzim, Emim, or Amorites were giants, but this information can be found in other places. The Amorites. The Amorites are mentioned more than 80 times in Scripture, and early on, some were allied with Abraham, Genesis 14:13. They were descendants of Noah's grandson Canaan, Genesis 10:15, 16. Although the Bible does not provide this information, the Jewish general turned historian Josephus gives the name of their ancestor as Amoreus. 1 While the Amorites are mentioned in the same contexts as other giants a few times, they are specifically described as giants in the Minor Prophets. Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was as strong as the oaks, yet I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. Also it was I who brought you up from the land of Egypt, and led you 40 years through the wilderness, to possess the land of the Amorite, Amos 2:9, 10. Through Amos, God clearly stated that the Amorites were generally very tall and strong. Some may downplay the description of the Amorites in this passage, since these verses employ figurative language, but there are some good reasons to take this passage in a straightforward manner. Point 2. The idea that the Amorites were giants is supported by the report of the spies whom Moses sent through the land of Canaan. The Amorites were one of the people groups they saw, Numbers 13:29, and they claimed that all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature, Numbers 13:32. It is telling that in their response, Joshua and Caleb did not challenge the size of the land's inhabitants, Numbers 14:6, 9.3. The Emim. Deuteronomy 2 reveals that the Emim, which likely means terrors, were giants. The Emim had dwelt there in times past, a people as great and numerous and tall as the Anakim. They were also regarded as giants Hebrew Rephaim, like the Anakim, but the Moabites call them Emim, Deuteronomy 2:10, 11. Moses told the people that the Emim used to live in the territory that God had given to the descendants of Lot's son Moab, Genesis 19:37. The Zuzim, Zamzummim. The Zamzummim, almost certainly the same as Zuzim in Genesis 14:5, were also called giants and listed in the same chapter as the Emim. The land of Ammon was also regarded as a land of giants Hebrew Rephaim, giants Rephaim formerly dwelt there. But the Ammonites call them Zamzummim, a people as great and numerous and tall as the Anakim. But the Lord destroyed them before them, and they dispossessed them and dwelt in their place, Deuteronomy 2:20, 21. These verses explain that a group of giants known as Zamzummim had lived in the land of Ammon, a land of giants. God destroyed the Zamzummim so that the descendants of Lot's son Ben-Ammi, the Ammonites, could live in the land, Genesis 19:38.4. According to Genesis 14:5, the Zuzim were in the land of Ham. This may be in reference to Noah's son, Ham, since they descended from him. But it is more likely a reference to the Hamathites, who were descendants of Canaan, Ham's son. While the Zuzim and Zamzummim may have been different people groups, there are enough similarities in name, description, and geographical location to infer that they were variant names for the same group. Rephaim. The most common term used to describe giants in the Bible is Rephaim, example Deuteronomy 3:11, 13. It may refer to a certain people group 5, or it may be a term that simply means giants. The singular form, Rapha, also appears several times, example 2 Samuel 21:16, 18, 20.6. The third chapter of Deuteronomy contains an interesting account of the victory of the Israelites over Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and Og, the king of Bashan. 7. It is here that we learn an intriguing detail about Og.